After a 4-3 overtime thriller last night, the Jayhawks take home a much-needed 2 points courtesy of a Brett Siddons dangle, dip, and score behind the net of Jacob Morgan. But Nebraska looking for some revenge as these two Matcha Silver West rivals face off for the final time this regular season. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside to Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk alongside Daniel Schmidt. I'm Ryan Cartman bringing you the cap of this series, the final of 4 games between these two teams we played this regular season. And oh boy, Daniel, what a game we had last night, an overtime thriller.
Yeah, a classic, I think. One of the better games that KU's played on the season for sure. I mean, Brett Siddons comes in as the overtime hero, and I mean, it was a beautiful game, and I was glad I got to experience it with you on camera last night.
Yeah, so we talked about last night's game, and oh boy, Brett Siddons overtime winner. But let's talk about the goaltending of Ben Olsen, who we heard Lindsay interview last night.
Yeah, Ben Olsen, just fantastic last night. I mean, I don't think there's anything else you can describe, any other way to describe him. I mean, 37 for 40 in the net. I mean, just fantastic back there.
And the Jayhawk power play, 1 for 4 last night after going 2 for 11 last time they faced Nebraska in the weekend series in Lincoln. How did that Jayhawk special teams unit look to you? They 1 for 4 on the power play and 1 for 1 on the penalty kill.
I mean, I think we've talked all year about special teams has been something that the Jayhawks have been lacking. It's one of the reasons that they don't have as many wins as they wish they had. And last night they really came out and showed up when they needed to. And I know they're looking to build on that tonight as well.
What are you looking tonight for the Jayhawks as we get started with these starting lineups here? It's the same starting 5 for the Jayhawks as last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Caleb Dussault, of course, the captain, always looking at him. Tyler Nelson, the team leader in points, of course, you're always looking at. But the Jayhawks defense has been looking so much better over these last couple series.
Ben Olsen, 37 for 40 last night, 37 saves on 40 shots against him. The sophomore from Minnesota, what are you looking for out of him? We touched him.
I'm just looking for Ben Olsen to do the same thing he did last night. I mean, he looked fantastic. He looks comfortable and calm, cool, and collected when he's in net, and I like that a lot from him.
So the Jayhawks starting lineup starts up top with the centerman Tyler Nelson getting the start.
Yeah, Tyler Nelson, team leader in points, just fantastic player.
Zach Roberts getting the start on defense, the big boy out of Massachusetts.
The big man. I mean, he was all over the puck last night for sure.
Blake Kern getting the start with defense against Zach Roberts. Had an assist last night.
Yeah, he complements Roberts really well, and when they're out there together, they work in tandem.
Nick Woolington getting the start on the right wing, and he had himself a goal last night, Daniel.
Yeah, Woolington, he's a freshman. I've liked the way he's played this year. One of the most underrated KU players for sure.
And finally, the man you touched on earlier, Caleb Dussault, the captain for these Hawks.
Aye, captain. He's fantastic. I mean, he's one of the better players that I've seen play hockey in person.
Let's take a look now. We took a look at the KU starting lineups. Let's take a look at Nebraska's starting lineups. We're going to start with Liam Scott. Last time he was out, 2 Sundays ago against Notre Dame, came in for relief for starting goaltender last night. Morgan finished the game. Morgan started 2 Sundays ago against Notre Dame. Got shelled there. So Liam Scott came in relief, went 30 for 32 against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how the Jayhawks attack Liam Scott tonight. I mean, it's a different goalie, but at the end of the day, you know, there's not much different between the two.
Take a look at the starting defensive core for this Cornhusker team. Stays the same as last night. Nick Bonthius and Zach Merritt getting to start on defense. Bonthius, the senior out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Merritt, the freshman out of Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, the defense for the Huskers was there last night. I mean, there were parts where it kind of fell apart, but they really, especially in the second and third period, I know you'd agree that they came out and they were pretty good.
Let's take a look now at this Cornhusker starting offensive line here. Brand new starting offensive line. It was the second line last night. They move up to the first line today. They get to start. Let's start with superstar Jackson Beach, the freshman out of Lincoln. Got a goal last night for himself.
Yeah, when you handed me these notes here and it said he's a freshman, I did not believe you. He looked like a 5th-year player the way he played last night. He's the team leader for all across the board for them almost. I mean, he's fantastic.
And let's look at our starting centerman now. That's going to be Nate Weber, the senior out of Gilbert's, Illinois. He had himself an assist last night on that Jackson Beach goal.
Yeah, he's a great player, and much like Beach, I was surprised that he wasn't on their first line, but he's a great player, and I mean, definitely one that the Jayhawks have circled on their on their roster.
And finally, starting at right wing for the Cornhuskers, it's going to be Davis Martison, the freshman out of Omaha, standing at 5'8", 150 pounds. He scored his 5th goal of the 2024 campaign last night.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how these wingers, I mean, both of them are freshmen, how they're going to work, if they're going to work in tandem really well up on the front line, or if they're going to, struggle a little bit now that the lights are really bright for them. So definitely going to be something to watch.
So again, starting goaltender today for the Huskers, Liam Scott, the sophomore out of Roseville, Minnesota. Starting on defense, Nick Bonthius, the senior out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Starting on defense, the freshman Zach Merritt out of Lincoln, Nebraska. And the starting front line for the Cornhuskers at left wing, it's freshman Jackson Beach from Lincoln. Starting at center, senior Nate Weber from Gilberts, Illinois. And starting at right wing, freshman Davis Martison out of Omaha, Nebraska. As we're getting to starting lineups right now for these two teams. Back inside Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. And Daniel, we're just about ready to go. What are you looking for from Nebraska and from KU to either improve on or keep doing from last night?
Yeah, Nebraska's really got to, I think, pressure the Jayhawks a little bit more. There were times where they just looked gassed out there, even on their line changes. I mean, I think they just need to kick it up a gear, and they'll be fine tonight, and they'll, they've got a chance to take this game from the Jayhawks. And then on the KU side, they just got to do what they did last night because it worked out really well for them. I mean, power play, I'd like to see them, convert a little bit more, but then again, that's getting real picky there, with how much they've struggled this year. Last night was a breath of fresh air for sure.
Well, folks, after a 4-3 overtime thriller last night, the Jayhawks previously got swept in their road series against these Cornhuskers in September. What thrillers do we have for today? Both teams tied in points in the Matcha Silver West standings, and we're underway in Overland Park. Jayhawks winning the opening faceoff. Puck turned over in neutral zone to the Cornhuskers. Here's Jackson Beach. Beach shot didn't get to the net. Rebound opportunity for Nebraska. That is swallowed up there by Ben Olsen, the starting netminder today for the Hawks.
Yeah, Jayhawks missed another pass there. That's something that's been biting them this season. Their passing's not been too good. And then Olsen gets an early test.
Face off to the right of Olsen, won by the Huskers. Nate Weber goes to get it. In the corner now are the Huskers. Puck poked around in KU ice, go all the way back into Nebraska's territory, so they're going to have to retreat here. This is Zach Merritt carrying the puck, the freshman out of Lincoln. Bonthius now with the puck, Merritt's defensive partner, carrying it up the ice. Now this is Martison with it. He had a goal for himself last night. Nick Willington carrying the puck there, gets stripped up Jackson Beach now with it. He feeds it for Weber. Weber now dangles over Roberts. Weber, backhand shot, goes up and above the crossbar. Puck now played along the boards. Comes out to Nebraska in neutral ice, and the Huskers will dump it down around the boards. Going out of at the plate is Olsen, and he leaves it for Hearn. Nice job by the Huskers keeping the puck in there, but it's eventually going to squirt out into the neutral zone. And here's the second line for the Jayhawks. It's Brett Siddons. Siddons, shot goes wide. Siddons, again, with a nice, sweet, dangerous dangle against Jacob Morgan in overtime last night, winning it for the Hawks 4-3. Puck behind the net now. This is the second line. Leroy for the Huskers. He gets pressure off the puck, and it's the Jayhawks coming the other way. Brett Siddons streaking down to ice. He gets pressured off, and he is offsides as Brett Siddons looks to be crouching over a little bit. Might be in a little bit of discomfort.
Yeah, it looks like he caught, I don't know if he caught a stick or something there, but shaking it off there. Nebraska's come out real aggressive here, and I know we talked about that pregame that maybe that's something they're going to try, but, you know, they're coming out on fire right now.
In neutral ice, it is Brett Siddons to take the face-off for the Jayhawks, beating out Noah Whitehill on that one. Shut on by Siddons off the shin of Zach Brown, the defenseman for the Huskers. Playing in the corner boards now. This is John Feeney. He's given pressure by a couple of Huskers. Huskers when they're all red unis again, red helmets, red tops, red bottoms. Brett Siddons now with the puck. Siddons tries to squirt it in past Scott, but Scott ends up covering up, but that puck squeaks out, and Jayhawks aren't too happy with that one. They had a puck behind the net of Scott potentially.
Yeah, I think they thought he had it covered up, but he didn't. But great defensive play early by Nebraska here, and I'm also going to compliment the KU defense. They've been really good about it. I mean, Brett Siddons, you know, fighting off that little injury he had, or, you know, just checking and coming out there and still, you know, pressuring Nebraska. Really impressive.
Face-off to the right of Morgan, won by Jackson Fisher and the Jayhawks. Here's Nessa at the blue line. Nessa tries to dump it in. He can't off a Husker skate, and here we go the other way. Big hit laid there by Luke Lamb on the likes of Nick Bonthius, but he is able to get up. Lamb now along the near boards. And Bonthius delivers the boom back to him, and here they're tangling along the near boards now. Shot on goal, fired wide of net. Man, both these teams laying the boom down right now. Puck back in the KU territory, ringing around the boards there. It's Jayhawks icing waved off as it touched the stick on the way in. Sam Hassan puts to play it now for the Jayhawks behind the net. He gets pressured off, and it's Dylan McRae getting hold of it. He'll swing it over to Merritt. Merritt works up the boards to Bobby Heiberg. Heiberg, he had himself a goal last night as he streaks in the zone now. Here's Heiberg getting tripped up there for the Jayhawks. That was Matthew Lang. Lang in the day, I should say, fourth line starting centerman. It was Blake Batterley last night. Lang comes in as a fourth line centerman today. Shot on goal there. Rebound opportunity for KU. They try to poke at it. They try to get it in. And Liam Scott eventually able to cover up the puck there. Boy, Liam Scott facing a barrage of shots in those last 10 seconds.
Yeah, some chaos in front of the net to end it there, but it's getting real physical out there. I mean, there's a lot of high sticks, and, you know, George Bullard took a hit in the corner that he thought was a little bit late, but there was no call, so they're letting him play so far.
Face-off now comes out to the left of Morgan. Won by Tyler Nelson. The Jayhawks first line back out. Shot on by Woolington off of the skate, I think, of Scott, and out squirts all the way back out. It's Travis Breyer to retreat for the Jayhawks. Breyer rings up the boards, but it's intercepted by Weber, and Weber says, I'll send this one the other way. Olsen out to play it. Olsen and Zadakis collide. Little miscommunication there. Nebraska looks to take advantage of it as they are able to keep the puck in the Jayhawk zone. Here's Beach now. Beach in the far corner. He's going to get pressured by Breyer. Beach working off of it very well. Centering pass attempted for the Huskers off the stick of a Husker. That was Weber. So the puck trickles down behind the net now of Scott, and it is Sean Rogers to play it. Rogers, headman pass for Weber. Weber works down the left side, east to west, and he'll dump it in. It's a full line change for the Huskers. Centering pass there by a Husker. Nobody home. Went off the stick of Olsen. Either way, the Jayhawks go the other way. Icing waved off here as Woolington wins the race to the puck. Woolington centering pass looking for Nelson, but Nelson couldn't get there in time. Tyler Nelson along the far corner. He'll dump it down to Zach Roberts. Roberts rings around the boards looking for the captain. Dussault, he has him. Dussault now with the puck. He'll leave it for Woolington. Woolington rings it around to the far corner. Rogers to play it for the Huskers. He sends it the other way. Almost went into the netting, didn't. So this puck still stays alive as we're nearing the 15-minute mark of this first period. Brown now with the puck along the near boards. He's looking for a headman pass up to Brickle, but nothing going there. A little too far out in front of him. Jayhawks send it the other way now. Icing waved off here as it went off the stick of Aiden Siddons. It's the second line for the Jayhawks. Get into work. Sean Rogers goes to play it behind his net. Brett Siddons giving pressure to 2 number 7s going at it. In the near corner, won by the Huskers initially at least, but the Jayhawks send it down. This is Feeney now with control of the puck. Feeney tries to ring it around. I think he might have hit something on the way there, so it only makes its way behind the net of Scott. This is Aiden Siddons with the now centering pass, looking for his brother Brett, but that Siddons connection wasn't going there. Hearn now with it. Hearn will decide to dump it in as the Jayhawks defenders go for a change. Puck rung around the boards by the Huskers, and this will be our first icing of the afternoon.
Yeah, much needed break there. They've been playing for a couple minutes continuous. I've really liked the way that KU's come out and attacked so far. I mean, they've kept it in the Nebraska zone for the majority of the game, the period so far. And it's kind of a miracle that Nebraska hasn't let one in yet.
Liam Scott standing strong so far. Nebraska also getting in front of some shots too. That's helping them out. It helped them out last night as well. This is Feeney in the corner boards. He's getting pressured off there by Whitehill, and Whitehill able to take advantage of it, and he tries to move it up, but it's intercepted by the Jayhawks. Huskers trying to get a pass off, went off of Brett Siddons. They finally do. It's to Merritt as Merritt tries to work up. Merritt got a stick into his arm. He's able to get it off of the neutral ice and clear it. Here's Merritt now, the defenseman. Merritt centering pass looking for Whitehill, but behind him. So now it's the Jayhawks working on the forecheck. Whitehill tries to ring it up. He does. Headman pass now goes to Adamski. Here's Adamski now. Adamski gets pressured off by Nessa, so Nessa gets that turnover for the Jayhawks as KU tries to go the other way with it. Nebraska initially able to keep it in, but it squirts down to neutral ice, and that is Bontius there dumping it in behind the net of Olsen. We're about to hit the 13-minute mark here of this first period. Scoring opportunities going both sides, not too many of them. Huskers might have one here, though. Here's Beach. Had tried to get the puck on the stick there. Did Weber, but it got intercepted by the Jayhawks, and it's into neutral ice now. Dumping attempt there off of Aiden Siddons. Siddons now goes for a line change. Zadakis now behind the net of Olsen. He rings into the corner boards. It's Beach to play it for the Huskers. Beach and Brett Siddons going at it. Two physical players. Might not play big, but they are big. Or might not be big, but they play big. Wraparound attempt for the Huskers. No good. Goes through the crease of Olsen. Here comes the Jayhawks the other way. Brett Siddons to Luke Lamb now. Lamb gets it behind the net of Scott. Dangerous puck there in front of the net of Scott, but nobody to put it home for the Jayhawks. Here's Bullard now with it. Bullard centering pass. Thought he might have had Luke Lamb home, but Lamb went behind the net instead. Jackson Beach carrying the puck now. He loses it. This is a 2-on-1 for the Jayhawks if they hurry, but they can't. This is Fisher with it now. Jackson Fisher wraps around the net. Jackson Fisher with it. Trying to find a man now. Fisher and Bullard in the corner for the Jayhawks. Whitehill there to pressure him off. Lamb now. Lamb to Fisher. Fisher tries to go 5-hole. Covered up there by Scott. 11:55 to go in the first.
Yeah, their conditioning is getting tested real good out there right now. I've liked the way the Jayhawks have come out on the offensive attack. They've had a lot of good opportunities in there. They just had one at the end. But I think we need to highlight that save by Ben Olsen. We couldn't really touch on it all that much with how fast everything was going. That was a really impressive save by Ben Olsen, getting all the way across, crossbar to crossbar, or post to post to save.
And Drew Holderfield's going to be going to the box for the Huskers for 2 minutes. An interference call against Holderfield puts the Jayhawks on the power play. 1 for 4 last night, 2 for 11 the last time they faced Nebraska in the series back in Lincoln in September. So Jayhawks power play looking to get a go over here. It's the first power play unit out for the Hawks. Do so, feeds it to Brett Siddons as the power play gets to work here. Brett Siddons dumps this puck in, and he'll ring it around the boards, looking for Aiden Siddons, his brother. Aiden got to it initially, but it got intercepted by Husker. Here's Tyler Nelson with it now behind the net. Nelly, as his teammates calls him, he'll dump it to Roberts. Roberts back to Nelson. Nelson, do so. Do so. Shot on. Stick to side and out of danger for Scott for the time being. Puck squirts out into neutral ice here, and the Huskers going to go for a change. They get 2 off. 2 fresh legs on the ice for the Huskers. Tyler Nelson pinned against the boards there by Merritt. Nice job by Merritt as Nelson was streaking in with the puck in the corner. Now it's Zach Brown with it. He's just trying to kill as much time as possible. Nice job by him with 50 seconds to go on the penalty kill for Nebraska. Nelson with the puck now. He's been on the ice the whole power play. This whole unit has. Do so. Nelson. Back to Do so. Shot on by Do so. And before that, we're going to have a penalty coming against the Jayhawks, I think. We will. It's going to be Aiden Siddons going to sit for 2 minutes for a cross-check. And I think I saw it out of the corner of my eye, a little cross-check put on there by Aiden.
Yeah, it was a little cross-check, but that's always going to get called in the game. But, I mean, for the Huskers, Liam Scott, he's just been holding it down back there. He's been under constant barrage, and he's been holding it down for them.
So with 10:34 to go in the first period, we'll be 4-on-4 for 40 seconds. That's how long it'll take the penalty for Drew Holderfield to expire. He sat for 2 minutes for interference. So this is the second time we get 4-on-4 hockey this weekend series. Shot on there by Merritt, saved by Olsen. Tried to go 5-hole on Ben. Pucking in your boards now. This is Beach. Beach shot! Oh my goodness, a ringer by Beach went up above the crossbar. I think made the glass rattle. 13 seconds to go now in this 4-on-4 time. We had 4-on-4 time last night for 2 minutes. Both these teams had a couple opportunities, but no goals scored as we crossed the halfway period, or halfway mark of the first period. Penalty to Holderfield expires. It's going to be a 1 minute, 20-second power play for the Huskers. Jayhawks on the kill now as they'll ring it down the boards to Scott. Out the plate, out of his net. He'll leave it for number 10, Martison. Martison carries the puck up now. He sends it across ice to Beach as Martison goes for a change. Beach now. Shot there off the post of Olsen's net, and it'll ring around all the way down to Husker territory. 48 seconds to go on the power play. Here come the Huskers now. Their second power play opportunity of the weekend. They were 0 for 1 last night. This is Rothenberger with it. Rothenberger to Merritt. Merritt shot on goal. In traffic and catching that one. Ben Olsen does. Nice job by the young man getting screened in front of him.
Yeah, Ben Olsen sticking it like a baseball catcher back there. The Jayhawks, the penalty, the power play, excuse me, kind of rough. I mean, there's definitely stuff they need to touch up on with that, but let's see how the penalty kill pulls it off here with 30 seconds left.
Face off to the left of Olsen, won by the Huskers. Played in the near corner boards now by Nebraska. This puck finds its way to Heiberg. Heiberg with the goal last night. Heiberg to Rogers. Rogers over to Leroy. Leroy's shot. Blocker to side by Olsen. Rebound goes to the Huskers. 6 seconds to go on the power play for Nebraska. Aiden Siddons in the box. Had a minor for a cross check. Penalty expires. We're 5-on-5. Cross-size pass. Off the post goes the shot from Jake Stadler. He had an open net to look at, but hit it off the post. Cross-size pass for the Huskers. Couldn't get it to go. Had another open net to look at. Did the Huskers. Ben Olsen being forced to work post to post right now. 5-on-5 hockey after the penalty to Siddons expires. It's the third line out for the Jayhawks. Carrying it here is George Bullard. Bullard along the near boards. Bullard's shot. Trying to glove it there was Scott, but he couldn't. Rebound opportunity. Fisher shoots it wide. Zadakis with a shot. Tipped in front of the net, but goes wide. Breyer with it now. Breyer rings it around, but Whitehill gets the interception. It's Whitehill with the puck on the stick. Whitehill looks to clear. Breyer, though, keeping it in. Finally, Huskers able to clear. That was McRae with the clear. Jayhawks, though, put it right back into their offensive zone. This is Lang with it now. Lang enters cleanly. Lang got some reinforcements if he wants them. He shoots up high of blocker side. Hassan push with it. Hassan push. Cross-size pass through the crease of Scott, but nobody home for KU. Gloving it down is Zadakis. He's able to keep it in. Nice job by the young man. This is Breyer with the puck now. Breyer along the boards. He looks for a headman pass, but he can't connect with Gavin Davis. First time we're calling Davis's name this afternoon. Puck onto the net of Olsen, kicked aside, another rebound opportunity, and it squeaks through. Somehow, some way, Nebraska able to get that puck to squeak through the 5-hole of Ben Olsen, and it's Nebraska striking first today.
Yeah, just don't really know how to describe what happened there other than it just squeaked in. I mean, the Jayhawks have been really good on defense. That's one of their first blunders. I think they need to get back a little bit quicker to give Olsen some help, but one squeaks in, and that's a 1-0 lead for the Cornhuskers here.
Nick Bonthias gets his first goal of the 2024 season, and it's a useful one for the Huskers. They get on the board first. Shots right now 9 for the Huskers, 6 for the Jayhawks, excuse me. Tyler Nelson now, he skates in going east to west. Nelson along the near corner boards, getting good pressure there by Bonthias. This is Beach now, delayed penalty coming up against the Huskers, and it's going to be a holding coming up to Nick Bonthias, the man who just scored a goal for Nebraska.
Yeah, I saw that happening in the corner, and I was wondering, that's one of those calls that looked like it could have gone either way, but the fact they made the call means they saw something down there that maybe we couldn't see from up here. But the Jayhawks, they get another opportunity on the power play. They're 0 for 1 so far. They're 1 for 5, I believe, on the weekend, so they're going to see if they can up that percentage.
1 for 5 with the shortened power play. Only a minute 20 of a power play earlier in this game, as we had that last of it go to a 40-second 4-on-4. Do so along the blue line. To Roberts. Roberts to Brett Siddons. Brett Siddons waits at the red dot. Huskers are patient right now. Now they go to attack. Moving in there was Brickle. Do so now. Do so. Roberts shot. Tipped in front and above the crossbar of Scott's net. Do so. Keeping it in along the blue line right here. Do so over to Roberts. Do so calls for it. He gets it. Do so shot off the blocker of Scott, and it deflects into the near boards. Minute 20 to go on the power play. Nick Bonthias sitting for a holding minor. Brett Siddons along near boards now. Jayhawks need to spread out. Siddons, Roberts, do so. Back to Roberts. Slowly. Roberts tries to get it up, but swung and missed there. Nelson able to get it, though, before Timmy Leroy could get it. Nelson now skates in, and he'll retreat. 58 seconds to go on the power play. Do so shot. Hit nothing before it got to the net of Scott. Jayhawks were looking for a tip. They couldn't get one. Scott able to get it cleanly. Nelson with it in center ice. He'll dump it for Roberts. Roberts back to Nelson. Nelson centering pass. Aiden Siddons. Brett Siddons, though, wasn't home. I think Aiden was looking for his brother Brett there, but Brett was playing at the red dot. Tyler Nelson with it now. Nelson dangles around Timmy Leroy. Nelson still moving to do so. Do so shot. Rebound opportunity. Huskers able to clear it out into harm's way, and they'll ring it around the boards as they say that puck went into the netting, and we'll have a stoppage on the ice. 22 seconds to go on the power play for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities for Kansas there, but they just can't cash in. I mean, they can't even seem to buy a deflection right now on those shots. But Caleb Dussault, I think he's really close. I mean, he's been looking real good with those deep shots so far.
On the power play, it's a second unit out for the Jayhawks. Shot there by Johnson. Swung and missed at that, so now this puck rattles around in front of the net of Scott, and it makes its way into the near boards. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Johnson shot. Tried to go 5-hole there, but Scott covered up in time. 4 seconds on the power play now. This is Johnson within the corner. Johnson shot goes wide. Or that was Hearn, excuse me. Power play over for the Jayhawks. We're back to 5-on-5 after Bonthias comes out of the box. Here's a shot by the Jayhawks. Looking for Fisher, actually, where the Jayhawks. Fisher couldn't get a stick on the puck. 4:20 to go in the first period. As this puck finally makes its way into KU territory, that's exactly what the Huskers needed. Puck in neutralized now. It squirts back into KU offensive zone. Merritt swings it over his defensive partner in Leslie. First time we're calling Leslie's name this afternoon. This is Beach with it now. Beach has a man with him. Beach shot. It squeaks through. Jackson Beach, his second goal of this two-game series.
Yeah, Jackson Beach, one of the guys that we circled on our note sheets going in because he's just a great player, and I mean, he's showing it right there. Fantastic shot. Down 2 now for the Jayhawks. if you'd watched everything but the goals in this period, you would have thought that KU would have been up, but they're down 2 here, even though they brought the pressure real good.
Well, Jackson Beach squeaking one high blocker side of Ben Olsen. Pretty much the only place you could put that puck for it to score, and only a man like Jackson Beach could do that. His 12th goal of the season gives the Huskers a 2-0 lead. Under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Here's a headman pass looking for Heiberg. Heiberg with the puck. He carries it in, but he gets pressured off by Breyer. Battle for it in the near boards. Goes to Huskers' way. Heiberg will ring it around the boards. Looking for Rothenberger. Get into it first, though, is Zadakis. Zadakis gets taken down by Rothenberger, but Jayhawks able to pick up the loose change either way. And it is Tyler Nelson trying to go coast to coast. Nelson loses it, so the Jayhawks are going to have to retreat and restart their offense. Zadakis with it now. The forward converted defenseman playing a little forward right now. Duso shot. Couldn't corral the rebound. Could Scott. If there's one downside for the Huskers today, it's Scott not being able to corral these rebounds. Here's Duso working it in. Cross size. The Jayhawks, they score! Nick Woolington bangs it home off a sweet assist from Caleb Duso.
You can feel the sigh of relief from the building. The Jayhawks finally cashed one in. A beautiful, beautiful piece there on that one-timer put in by Nick Woolington. Fantastic piece of hockey.
Nick Woolington, his second goal of the weekend. The first one last night coming off a tip. This one coming off somewhat of a tip, a little bit of a slapper. Either way, Jayhawks don't care. It's now a 2-1 game. Huskers still with the 1-goal advantage. Hearn with it now along the blue line. He tries to give it to Feeney, but Feeney gets it turned over. Here come the Huskers the other way. They're looking to answer after a goal by the Jayhawks. Here with it in the near corner, Jayhawks try to get into neutral ice. They do. Brett Siddons goes to glove it down, battling for it with Merritt, and Merritt gets the better of him, and he slings it up to Whitehill. Whitehill turns it over, though, and now this is Aiden Siddons coming the other way. Siddons enters cleanly, but it's pushed off by Merritt. Shot on by Feeney, blocker to side by Scott. Puck squirts out in a neutral ice. Jayhawks going to have to touch up here. 2:15 to go in the first. Puck in the far corner played by Bonthius. Bonthius, a goal scorer this afternoon for the Huskers. Puck in the far corner now, played by Bonthius. He'll sling it over to Sean Rogers. Rogers up the boards, looking for Adamski. Adamski back to Rogers. Rogers tries to clear it. He can't. Gloved by Hearn as Aldous puck sweeps behind the net. Centering pass looking for Aiden Siddons, no good. Cross size, Feeney, he scores! Back to back before you can blink. The Jayhawks tied this hockey game up courtesy of a John Feeney goal.
Fantastic assist there. I think we need to point that out. He set John Feeney up perfectly there. Was that Blake Hearn on the assist there, Ryan?
I think that might have been Hearn. I missed who got that assist.
We'll hear from the scorer, of course, who they give it to. But I mean, that was a fantastic assist. And the Jayhawks, they've evened it up. They put the work in, and they're seeing the results now.
So before you can even take a blank, the Jayhawks tied this game up 2 goals apiece after giving up a quick 2 goals to start this hockey game. And right now, Daniel, if you're a Jayhawks fan, you got to be feeling pretty good with this, but you want to keep the pedal to the metal before this period expires.
Yeah, of course, especially with this Nebraska team, because, I mean, we touched on it pregame. They've got some goal scorers. They've got guys that if you give them an opportunity, if you make a mistake, they will cash in on it for the Cornhuskers.
Face-off to left of Scott, won by Nebraska. This is Stadler with the puck. Stadler can't clear it out as bodies go flying everywhere. Johnson with a slap shot, tipped in front of the net. Dangerous tip there by Woolington. He had one of those last night. Puck now dangerously in front of the net of Morgan. Oh my goodness, what a sequence right there for the Jayhawks. Almost put one in. Nelson gloves it down. Looking for it is Johnson. He won't get it. Puck in front of the net goes left to right of Scott. Rogers trying to look for Leroy. He does. Jayhawks not able to keep it in. Nessa has to retreat as we're down to the final minute, under the final minute to play here in the first period in Overland Park. I'm Ryan Cartman. Alongside me, Daniel Schmidt, calling this cap game of this 2-game weekend series between the Huskers and Jayhawks. Jayhawks taking home a 4-3 overtime win last night courtesy of a Brett Siddons overtime goal. Here comes Leroy on the breakaway. Leroy battling against Breyer. Breyer poke checks him. Nice job there by Travis Breyer. 25 seconds to go on the first period as we're going to get a penalty called there. It's going to be a tripping going against the Jayhawks. The Huskers were looking for it, and it was a pretty easy trip to call there. No argument for Nick Woolington.
Yeah, I think that's a textbook trip. If you Wikipedia page, it's probably on there. But Jayhawks penalty kills getting tested. It's a little split power play here for the Huskers as they're going to have to go across 2 periods.
So Huskers are going to have 21.6 seconds of power play time in the first, which will amount to about a minute 39 in the second, barring they don't score a goal here with their waning 15 seconds in the first with this puck dumped down by the net of Scott. Looks highly unlikely. Jackson Beach by the net. He tries to get it out but can't. 5 seconds to go in the period. Beach carries up in his territory, finds the man. Last shot looking to put it on there is Merritt. He doesn't get it off. And time will expire for this first period. And boy, Daniel, when it looked like the Huskers were going to enter the locker room with a 2-0 first intermission lead, the Jayhawks come back within the last couple minutes or so and tie this game up 2 goals apiece.
Man, isn't ACHA hockey so beautiful? Because anything can happen out here. I mean, if you would have told me, 10, 15 minutes ago that it was going to be 2-2 going into intermission, I would have called you crazy. But the Jayhawks cash in late and send us in tied. But something to watch is definitely going to be how Nebraska comes out of the period on that power play. They got 1:39 to go on the Nick Woolington tripping call. So I'm interested to see what they come out with.
So the Huskers start off the first period action early. Goals courtesy of Jackson Beach, his 12th of the season, 2nd of the weekend, 4th overall this season against the Jayhawks. Heck, I'll keep saying stats about him. His 6th overall point against the Jayhawks this season. There's not enough you can say about Jackson Beach. Then Nick Bontius, he gets a goal of his own, his first goal of the season. And then the Jayhawks come the other way to answer. It is Nick Woolington and John Feeney tying this game up for the Jayhawks. Well, folks, as you can see here, we're going to have a little bit of a youth hockey game going on in the background of this first intermission. We'll keep it right here with you. We will go off the headsets, but we'll let you watch our little youth hockey game going on in between periods. We'll get it ready to go right here. Stay right here on the KU Hockey YouTube channel. back inside Advent Hill Sports Park at Blue Hawk. The Huskers and the Jayhawks battling it out right now as they're all knotted up 2 goals apiece as we're ready to enter some second period action. I'm Ryan Cartman. Alongside me is Daniel Schmidt. And Daniel, these two Matcha Silver West rivals, they don't like each other too much, and it's showing today. It's showing the series, and it's showing on the scoreboard as well. They're scoring goal after goal.
Yeah, a beautifully physical game out there. A lot of guys hitting the ice. A lot of, checks. There's been a couple penalties already called. Of course, Nebraska comes in on the power play here to start the second period. But I think this is, it's going to be treated like a 0-0 game, like they're starting over. So really interested to see. And then, the Jayhawks, see what they can do.
Yeah, so the 2 goal scorers for the Jayhawks, Woolington and Feeney. Each of them had a goal apiece last night to help the Jayhawks win a 4-3 overtime thriller. The goal today was Woolington's 8th on the year, his 15th point, and it was Feeney's 7th on the year, his 13th point. What are you liking out of the Jayhawks offense right now, Daniel?
The Jayhawks offense, they're just setting each other up so well. And, if you go back and watch that first period, the way that they're all working together and setting each other up and those centering passes that are coming in. And, of course, Blake Hearn had one of the most beautiful assists I've seen all season out there for the equalizer. And, just beautiful hockey there in the first period for the Jayhawks.
So we dropped the puck to start the second, and it's the Jayhawks immediately on the penalty kill for 1:35. Nick Woolington sitting for a minor tripping call. So Jayhawks have the last 90 seconds of a penalty to kill before they can start their offense. I should say their even strength offense in the second period. Here is Weber with the puck. Back to Stadler. Stadler carries it. He dumps it down behind the net for Merritt. Merritt now to Beach. Beach circles around Duso. Duso, though, holds his ground, and Beach is forced to dump it behind the net to Martison. Martison finds Stadler. Shot on goal there by Merritt, just wide of net. Merritt with the puck on the stick again. Merritt shot tipped in front by Weber, wide of net. Merritt again at the blue line. Merritt to Stadler. Beach calls for it. Stadler passed it too far out in front of him, so the puck trickles behind the net now. Beach with it. Beach holds 34 seconds to go on the power play. Beach on the blue line. Feeds it down to Merritt. Merritt looking to get it to Weber, but gloving it down there is Hearn. Nice job by him, and he sends it down. And it's Tyler Nelson with it. Coming to play it out of his net is Scott. Nice job playing it by him. Bad line change for the Jayhawks. Here come the Huskers. Leroy shot on and blockered up and into the netting. 13 seconds to go on the power play. 18:33 to go into second.
The Huskers are bringing the pressure, but the Jayhawks are matching them here on the power play with 13 seconds to go. I've liked the way KU's defense has been communicating early here in this period, especially on the penalty kill here. That's something we talked about last period that they struggled with, and they're communicating a lot better, and they're getting in their position when they need to be.
15 shots on goal for the Jayhawks, 12 for the Huskers. 7 seconds to go on the power play. Shot! And Jayhawks going to go on the penalty kill yet again. We're going to have a penalty called here. It's going to be a cross-check going against Malcolm Johnson in front of the net, and it looked like, too, that might be a right call.
Yeah, he got him pretty good there, and especially with how close he was to the zebra. You're always going to get that called. But so 4 seconds of a little 5-on-3, and then back to 5-on-4 in the penalty kill for the Jayhawks.
Second cross check to be called against the Jayhawks this evening. Aiden Siddons had one earlier in the first period. Shot on wide, and it rings almost in the neutral zone. Leroy, nice job keeping it in. Jayhawks now 5-on-4 on the penalty kill. This is Merritt with it in the corner board. Zadakis pressuring it off him. Or that was Brickle, excuse me. Puck trickles out now to Leroy. Leroy, Brickle, cross size. The Huskers almost went tic-tac-toe. How did that miss the net? I thought that went in. This is Brickle with it now. Brickle, shot on there. Deflected aside there. That was Rogers with the shot. In the corner, this is Brickle now. Brickle finds Leroy. Leroy over to Rogers. Rogers centering pass. Rogers shot on goal. Saved by Olsen.
Yeah, the Jayhawks penalty kill's looking real good, but Ben Olsen in goal is looking better. I mean, he's weathering the storm here with 2 early tests here in the period. I don't know how that first shot by Nebraska didn't go in. I know I saw you jump. I jumped a little bit. Some of them on the ice even thought it went in. The Nebraska fans in front of us thought it went in. Great defense there by the Jayhawks.
Cross-ice pass looking for Stadler. He has it on the stick now. Cross-ice again. Back to Beach now at the blue line. Beach at the blue line. Shot on, tipped in front and wide of the net of Olsen. Zadakis with the now. He tries to get it out. He will be able to. Puck squirts in a neutral zone. 52 seconds to go on the minor cross-check to Malcolm Johnson. Martison with the puck now. Martison looks to enter, turned over. Tyler Nelson with it now. Nelson and Merritt going at it. Nelson dumps it to Duso. Duso gets stopped there by Scott. Nice job by Liam Scott to stop that shot of Caleb Duso, and he had anywhere to choose to shoot.
Yeah, I heard the ESPN theme in my head when he did that, because if that went in, that would have been all over Sports Center. Beautiful little setup there by Tyler Nelson, doing things that are really rare to see on the ice. I mean, he's always a highlight reel.
Face off to left of Scott, won by the Huskers. Beach carries it now. Beach in the far corner boards, 25 seconds to go on the power play for the Huskers. Merritt with the puck now. It goes off his stick, but it is into KU territory. Pressured for the puck there. Zadakis and Stadler going at it. Stadler pushes Zadakis down. Cross-ice pass there. Huskers looking for it, but they can't get it. Jayhawks 2-on-1 to the hurry. Bullard and Fisher. Fisher, though, loses the puck, so this puck squirts behind the net of Morgan. Penalty has expired to Johnson. Even strength hockey now. 16-17 to go in the first and counting. Here come the Huskers now. This is Martison with the puck. To Merritt, Merritt swung and missed, though. Couldn't get a shot off as this puck now is deflected into the far boards. Lamb with it. Headman pass looking for Bullard, but it went too far in front of him. Jayhawks going for a line change right now. Merritt, he finds a streaking Holderfield. Cross-ice pass. That was Whitehill, looking for McGinnis, but they couldn't connect with each other. Jayhawks send this puck down the length of the ice. Icing waved off, though, as the puck didn't make its way far enough. Holderfield with it behind the net. Hugh ringing around the boards. Brett Siddons intercepts, and he'll ring it the other way. Siddons now. Siddons had a clear shot on net, but it just went too wide and high of net. Brett Siddons almost cashed one in for the Jayhawks. Shot on goal there by Whitehill, and catching that one and keeping it is Ben Olsen. 15:21 to go in the second.
Yeah, easy save there for Olsen, but I'm interested to see how Brett Siddons comes off. He had a really good opportunity there that he missed, and knowing him and the type of player he is, he's gonna get his own at some point.
This is Holderfield with it. Holderfield covers up there. Does Ben Olsen. 4 seconds expired on the clock.
Yeah, just 4 seconds. Now we're back and doing it all over again for the face-off. The Jayhawks, it's been a great game so far for their penalty killers, and hopefully we don't have to see them out there again, but it's nice to know that if they're needed, that they've been reliable so far.
Zadakis with the puck now to the right face-off dot of Olsen. Centering pass now. Heiberg, though, went off his stick. He will ring it behind the net of Olsen. Carrying the puck now. That's McRae. McRae centering pass. Rogers couldn't get a shot off or got blocked. Dangerous puck in the crease area of Olsen, but Rosenberger with the swing and a miss. He had to open net to look at. Feeney with it now. Feeney initially had it on the stick, went too far in front of him. So the Jayhawks, though, still able to enter cleanly. Here's Siddons now with the puck. Brett Siddons, centering pass. Aiden Siddons, they score! The Siddons connection is on fire in Overland Park, giving the Jayhawks a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean, that Brett Siddons, we said he missed that shot. He was going to get something there, and he got it right there. I mean, he set up Aiden Siddons perfectly. Siddons just had to put it in. And, I mean, Ryan, I know you, me, and Jack Maurice last night on the ride home were talking about how that connection between them, it's insane how well they work together, and there's another example of it on the ice.
Here's Woolington with it now after a Husker turnover. They went opening face-off. Woolington gets upended there as Huskers send it down the length of the ice now, and this will go for an icing. Nessa's going to win the race against Nate Weber.
Yeah, we early in the game, excuse me, we were talking about how frustrating this game has been for the Jayhawks, and now looking at the scoreboard, things are coming to fruition for them. They've got 3 goals, they've got the lead. Really, hard work's paying off for them out there on the ice. They're really bringing it to the Huskers.
Faceoff goes to the left of Scott. It's the first line out for the Jayhawks. Tyler Nelson loses the faceoff to the Huskers. Here's Beach carrying the puck down Main Street. Beach, though, gets pressured off nicely by Nessa and Johnson, and they force a turnover. Here come the Jayhawks the other way. Nessa looking for Woolington. Woolington loses an edge there, and he goes down. Johnson with it now. He dumps it in to Husker territory. Behind the net now goes Bonthius. Bonthius looking for Martison. Martison back to Bonthius. Headman pass now goes to Martison. Martison and Bonthius playing a little hot potato, but Martison can't corral it. Puck goes in the far corners now. Beach going to play it. Do so, trying to pressure him off. Beach gets the better of him, though. Here's Martison. Martison to Merritt. Merritt shot on goal. Save there by Bryson. Rebound comes out to the Jayhawks, and here they come. Nick Woolington along the near boards. Woolington gets stick lifted, but Nelson able to pick up the puck. Nelson goes wraparound and around the net. Nelson's shot, sprawling out. Nice save there by Scott. And this puck's going to go not far enough for an icing. 13-17 to go in the middle act of this cap game. Icing waved off there against the Jayhawks. Tyler Nelson got stuck on it in front of the red line. Huskers sent it down, and this time we'll have an icing here. 13:04 to go in the second.
Yeah, somehow only 7 minutes have transpired. This feels like a lifetime just because of how much play has been on the ice so far. I mean, they've been going back and forth. I mean, they've been fighting real good.
Shots apiece, 20 on goal for the Huskers. We're going to have a false start there as Sam Hassenpush and Timmy Leroy trying to get off the jump just a little too early.
5-yard penalty.
There you go. Repeat the face-off. Here is the puck bouncing around in the far corner boards, and Nebraska's going to dump it into the neutral zone, but it goes off the top of the glass into the net and bounces back on the ice. So we're going to have a stoppage here. Face-off's going to come all the way back to the right of the net of Scott.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, they go a couple minutes without playing, and then we get all the stoppages all at once, and then we'll see if they go another couple minutes here of straight play.
Face off to the right of Scott, won by the Jayhawks. Hearn with it. Hearn tries to get a shot off, but off the stick of Merritt, so Merritt picks it up, and he's streaking the other way. This is Brickle, Brickle, centering pass, looking for Leroy, but Leroy couldn't get it on the stick. Nebraska trying to keep it in. They can't. Jayhawks send it down to Nebraska's side of the ice. On the forecheck go the Jayhawks, but they can't get anything to go. It's the fourth line out for KU. Brickle with it. He enters cleanly. Brickle turns it over. Roberts with it. Or excuse me, that was Davis. Davis rings around the boards, but picking it up first is Leroy. Leroy gets pushed up the puck. Puck dumped in behind the net of Olsen now. Trying to tuck it in there where the Huskers. They couldn't. Olsen holding his post strong. Centering pass there for the Huskers. Nothing going there. Pushed down with the Jayhawk defender, but nothing called against Nebraska. Here come the Hawks the other way. Headman pass for Hassenpush. Will icing be called? Hassenpush wins the race. Icing waved off. Nebraska, though, gets control of the puck, and they'll just clear it into neutral ice. Here comes McRae now. McRae enters cleanly, trying to give a little forearm shiver. There was a Dacus, but both men end up going down. Picking the puck up now. This is Lang with it. Lang turns it over, though, to the Huskers, but the Huskers turn right back over to the Hawks. Here's Bullard with it now. Third line for the Jayhawks. Bullard, shot on by Lang. Blocker to side by Scott. 11.5 to go in the second. If you're just joining us here alongside Daniel Schmidt, I'm Ryan Cartman, bringing you the second game of this two-game series. Huskers and the Jayhawks going at it. Jayhawks get the only goal so far of the second period to take a 3-2 lead as we have a stoppage on the ice here. Don't know what the stoppage is for, though. No penalty. Oh, net was off its bearing, so that's what we got there. So it was a 4-3 overtime winner last night for the Jayhawks, courtesy of some Brett Siddons magic, you might call it. The Siddons show was on in Overland Park. Nebraska took the first two games of this head-to-head series in Lincoln against the Jayhawks back in September. Jayhawks get the win yesterday, so Jayhawks looking to tie the series up today. Nebraska looking to win the series today. 11 minutes to go in this second period. Puck battled for along the near board. That's Jackson Beach going at it with Zach Zadakis. Zadakis falls down, but Fisher able to pick up the change. He wraps behind the net of Olsen, looking for Lamb. That Wayzata connection there. Puck squeaks out. Here to Jayhawks, 2-on-1. They hurry. It's Bullard with Fisher. Fisher, shot on. Save by Scott.
Yeah, Fisher had Bullard there with him, but decided to take it himself, and it was just a great save there by Liam Scott, the Huskers goalie. I've really liked the way, I know we talked about it at the end of the first period about some things the Jayhawks need to work on. Their defense has been phenomenal so far. I mean, they've really, from a coaching and playing standpoint, have stepped it up.
Nessa shot on, glove there, and stopped by Scott. 3 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, just Liam Scott again, standing strong. I mean, he's let 3 in so far, but he's keeping his team in the game. I mean, they're only down by 1.
21 shots on goal apiece for both these teams. As the Huskers carry it out. Beach with it. Beach will leave it for Merritt, but Merritt can't pick it up as Jayhawks send it down the length of the ice, and we'll have an icing.
Yeah, another couple stoppages all in a row here, but Jackson Beach, he's on the ice. I think we have to talk about him. Phenomenal player. Tonight, you know, I believe he's got, does he have an assist or?
He's got a goal tonight.
He's got a goal
Second
tonight.
of the series.
I was shortchanging him there. Second of the series. I mean, he's fantastic. Definitely someone the Jayhawks are keeping an eye on right now, and he's got merit for why they need to keep an eye on him.
Face off to the left of Olsen. Shot on by the Huskers. Goes up and above the crossbar of Olsen's net. Feeney enters the zone but gets pressured off by Merritt. Nice job by the young man. Martison now with the puck. He rings around the boards looking for a teammate. Beach picks it up and he dumps it back to Martison. Martison now trying to find a headman pass to Weber, but goes off Weber's stick, and the Jayhawks in control. This is Malcolm Johnson with the puck. Johnson, headman for Brett Siddons. Here comes Siddons entering. Siddons, though, getting pressure by Merritt. Centering pass, looking for Feeney, and nothing going there. And here comes a little brouhaha. Jackson Beach, Aiden Siddons going at it. Siddons didn't take too kindly to what was transpiring there between Bonthius and Feeney. And Bonthius gave Siddons, Aiden Siddons, I should say, a little bit of a face wash. And we'll see what penalties come out of this.
Yeah, Aiden Siddons just went into the Huskers goalie, and it resulted in some extracurricular activities out there on the ice. I think the net came off before the puck was anywhere near, but there was a real chance that Siddons put it in there. Huskers are lucky, you know, that they didn't let one sneak in.
So everybody was looking for a dance partner, somebody to wrestle with, but it looks like nothing's going to come out of this. We're going to stay 5-on-5. Some roughings could have been called indeed, but nothing seems to be called. As now coming over to talk to the bench is the referees talking to Chase Pruitt, the acting head coach for the Jayhawks right now. Head coach Andy McConnell left after the first period. He's going off to a wedding, so you can't blame the man there.
Let's see what the call is.
Nothing at all. Just get an explanation, I think.
Yep.
Or the Jayhawks coach and staff. Face off to the left of Scott. Won by the Jayhawks initially, but now there's some loose change in Husker territory, and this puck squirts out in the neutral zone. So Jayhawks going to have to reset here. Hearn with the puck. Hearn looking for Nelson. It ends up deflecting over to Duso. Duso with the puck. Back to Nelson. Nelson tries to enter, gets pressured off. Gets poke checked by a couple Huskers. And it's back to Nebraska. Nebraska tries to get it out. Hearn, though, able to keep it in, but barely. As stopping this puck is Scott. 9:22 to go in the second.
These Jayhawks are relentless, man. I mean, there's times where they get an opportunity, and then, you know, it kind of falls apart, and they somehow still, you know, make a good shot. And it's really impressive how they, you know, could just power through even with some adversity out there.
Puck line in net of Scott now. Centering pass for the Jayhawks. Goes up and high. Nelson tries to glove it down. He does. Centering pass again. Didn't get there. Duso's shot goes wide of net. Puck now in front of the net of Scott. Jayhawks trying to get possession. They can't. It is the Huskers going the other way. This is Brickle with it. Brickle carries in. Brickle's shot off of Roberts, and it goes into the corner. Woolington. Headman looking for Duso, but just in front of his reach. Woolington pressuring Beach off the puck, or Brickle, excuse me. Brickle gives him a shove as Brickle lost his stick. He didn't take too kindly to that. Finding that now. This is Whitehill. Whitehill, headman looking for Martison. Doesn't go there. Icing going to be waved off, though, as Weber able to get there in time. Weber behind the net. He tries to wrap it around. Olsen staying strong. And stoppage on the ice now as the net came off its bearings. Looked like a Jayhawk might have pushed it off its bearings, actually, but nothing being called there from our referee.
Yeah, to me it looked like Olsen might have caught it when he tried to cover the post, but another stoppage, 8:21 to go in the period. I've liked the way the Jayhawks have come out. Now Nebraska is really pressuring, really playing real good out there now, so I'm interested to see if they can keep that up for the rest of the period.
Puck squirts out into behind the net of Scott. Icing waved off here as it hit a stick on the way down length of ice. Here's Hassenpush with it now. Hassenpush dumps it in. Looking for Lang in the corner, but the puck couldn't get into the corner in time. Here's Lang with it now. Jayhawks in there cleanly. Hassenpush. Hassenpush shot. Didn't get all the way to Scott. Hassenpush shot again. Goes wide of net. Goes around the boards. Zdakis picks up the change. Turned over now. This is Beach with the puck. 25 shots on goal for the Hawks. 22 for the Huskers. Here's Weber now. Keeping it in is Brown. Brown dragging. Brown shot. Didn't get all the way to net. Beach now enters the zone. Goes backhand. Can't get a shot off, though. Laying out there is Breyer. Shot on there by Beach. Kicked aside by Olsen. Another shot on goal, but didn't get its way through. I think it hit something on the way in. Might have hit Breyer. Here's Martison now. Martison for Brickle. They can't connect those. It's a turnover. The Jayhawks come the other way. Huskers on the back check. Here's Davis entering the zone. It's the fourth line for the Hawks. This is Lang looking for Davis in front of the net. And one great save by Scott. Another great save by Scott. And oh my goodness, thought Davis had, or Lang, excuse me, had a wide open net, or at least nobody in front of him to pressure him besides Scott, but he just couldn't push it in.
Yeah, I mean, just a fantastic opportunity for the Jayhawks there, and Liam Scott just kind of puts his foot down and says, oh no, and sends it to a face-off instead.
Face-off to the left of Scott, won by the Huskers. Headman pass here goes for Dugan, it appears to be. First time we're calling Jack Dugan's name tonight, the junior out of Orland Park, Illinois. Shot there by the Huskers. Rebound opportunity for Nebraska. Heiberg was there. He had a goal last night, but he couldn't get it on the stick. Puck gets dumped into the KU zone. Nessa gloves it down, and it's the Jayhawks going the other way. Fisher with it. Fisher dangles around a man, but can't dangle around a second, and this puck is loose now in the near corner. Fighting for it there. Fisher goes down. Bullard with a little bit of a cross check there. Bullard tried to get a shot off, but swung and missed. Bullard gets pushed down. Here's Lamb with the puck. Lamb to Bullard. Bullard can't keep it on the stick, and it's Jayhawks coming the other way. They're working the back check. Nebraska will opt to dump it in, and they're going to go for a full line change. All four guys are going to get off. Bontius was trying to get off. He couldn't. This is Leroy with the puck. Leroy will dump it down into KU territory momentarily, but Jayhawks able to clear it down the length of the ice. Falling down there is Jackson Fisher. He got pushed, I think, by Bontius. Big hit there. Aiden Siddons with it. Siddons, Hearn. That was Johnson, excuse me, not Siddons. Here is Brickle now. Brickle enters the zone. Brickle tries to get a shot off, but just swung and missed there as the Jayhawks looking the other way. Here's Brett Siddons, has Feeney with him. Siddons enters. Siddons pressured, and he skates right into the goalie. Gets pushed by a Cornhusker, and don't think anything's going to be called here. That Nebraska defenseman couldn't pick up who it was exactly. Pushed Siddons right into Scott, and Scott went flying along with Siddons, trying to get a number on that defender. Looks to be Leslie that pushed Siddons in. Looks like nothing's going to be called here. Just Leslie making a hockey play, trying to keep Siddons from scoring. It was a great job by Leslie, keeping Siddons from getting a clean shot off.
Yeah, physical defense there for sure. I mean, Brett Siddons looks flabbergasted out there right now. He's got, he's just kind of looking around and, telling anybody what was that. But great defense there by the Huskers. You can't really argue against it.
Just over 5 minutes to go in this second period of action from Overland Park. Here's Roberts. Roberts shot wide of net. Rebound opportunity for the Hawks. It's in the crease, but they can't get it to go in. That puck squirted behind Scott, and he was able to he was able to get on top of it, and his goal stick must have broke because he's going to, yep, it did. You can see that thing snapped in half right there, so he couldn't use it. There, it finally falls off. So Liam Scott has to get a new goalie stick.
What a great athletic play by Liam Scott there. I mean, I don't know what much to say. I mean, he just kind of jumped on it. Great save by him to, you know, cover it up and make sure nobody can get it. I mean, they say, you know, goalies don't get that much credit for being athletic, but that was impressive right there.
Face off to the left of Scott, won by the Hawks. Going to the net there is Feeney taking a dive. And it's going to be a delayed penalty called here on the Huskers. Olsen races to the bench. Jayhawks 6-on-5 for the time being. Shot on by the Hawks. Off the stick of Weber. And the refs are calling that enough for a touch. So it's going to be the Jayhawks going on the power play for the third time today.
Yeah, let's see how the special teams does. I mean, we've talked about how their penalty kill's been really good so far. And now they've got, you know, the power play unit out there. The all-star power play unit out there with Tyler Nelson and Brett Siddons and Aiden Siddons. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get something in the back of the net here.
So it's going to be Sean Rogers going to sit for 2 minutes. Tripping minor called against him. So the Huskers go to work on the penalty kill. Puck batted around the neutral ice. Exactly what the Huskers want right there. Just try to kill as much time as possible on this power play opportunity for the Jayhawks. Brett Siddons enters the zone cleanly. Siddons gets pressure off the puck by Merritt. Aiden Siddons with it now. Siddons in front of the net. Siddons shot. Save there by Scott. And the Huskers send it down the length of the ice. Olsen to play it out of his net. Tyler Nelson behind the net waiting for his power play unit to set up. This is the first power play unit out for the Jayhawks. Here's Tyler Nelson moving his way west to east. Nice job by the young man there, but he had to reset. Huskers penalty kill been staunchy so far today. Puck gets out of the zone in neutral ice, and there's a minute to go on the power play. So far, Jayhawks haven't had any opportunities in Huskers' defensive zone. This is Bontius now. Bontius around the near board. He's able to get it out. And it's still going down the length of the ice again. Frustrating power play tonight for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, they just can't get anything going right now.
Lamb with it. It's the second power play unit for the Jayhawks. Luke Lamb circles. He loses control of the puck, but Tyler Nelson there able to pick it up. Nelson at the red dot. Leaves it. Now it's Duso. Duso. Hearn. Hearn shot off the shin there of a Husker. That was Brickle. Here comes the Huskers the other way. This is Heiberg, and he opts to dump it in and wrap it behind the net of Olsen. 10 seconds to go on the power play. 2-minute tripping call against Sean Rogers. Jayhawks carried in the zone, and that's all just for the power play. And it's a good time for that power play to expire if you're a Huskers fan. 2-on-1. Beach. Rogers. Rogers. Forehand, backhand. He scores. Sean Rogers. What a move to tie this game up. 3 goals apiece.
Yeah, beautiful by Sean Rogers there. Comes out of the box, and I mean they've got a 2-on-1. I mean, what more could you ask for there if you're a Huskers fan? As their captain puts it in the back of the net and ties us up. I think that was a, you know, we talked about the penalty or the power play. That was a bad power play for the Jayhawks. Disastrous, I think, would be a word that you could use to describe it. There just was no communication down there on the ice for Kansas. And ultimately, you know, when they come out of it, they give up a goal. So,
yeah, Nebraska head coach Reed Fuller wanted Rogers to come to the bench, but when Rogers saw that Jackson Beach was there going 1-on-1 against Duso, he decides to go the other way to go 2-on-1, and pays off well for him. He ties this game up 3 goals apiece as just under 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. That is Rogers' first goal of the season. Beach's 15th assist of the season, the team leading. Beach shot on goal. Speaking of him, save there by Olsen. As now it seems like momentum has shifted a little bit to the Husker side now.
oh, for sure. I mean, especially coming off that, you know, it's where KU's got the momentum on the power play, and then they come out and they score, you know, 5 seconds after the penalty expires. I mean, they definitely have all that momentum right now.
Face off to the left of Olsen, won by the Jayhawks, and that puck gets sent up and into the netting
Yeah,
by Luke Nessa.
Yeah, the Jayhawks just need to get it going right now because, I mean, they just look disorganized out there. I mean, on the last shot that the Cornhuskers had on net, they had a streaking Jackson Beach coming across the center of the ice with nobody in between him and the goal.
Face-off won by KU, and they get it out of the zone, but the Huskers are able to dump it back in. It's going to be an icing called here, and it's going back to the net of Liam Scott.
Yep, switching sides again, and hopefully that allows KU to conjure something on that end now that they get it out, get it across the red line. You know, they can maybe get an attack going here. I'd love to see them get a goal before the end of the end of the period. Excuse me.
There we go.
Yeah, I got it.
Talking about college basketball first, then football, and then we get to hockey. There you go. All right, puck batted around in the neutral zone. Minute 50 left to go in this second period. And, man, what a game it has been for Nebraska netminder Liam Scott entering this game as we get an icing there. Entering this game 0-1-1 on the season. 3.65 goals against average, 8.897 save percentage. And, boy, he's looked pretty good. His last game, too, 30 for 32, 30 saves on 32 shots against Notre Dame. He's been looking pretty good.
Yeah, what's the Shaq quote where I apologize, I wasn't familiar with your game? He's been really good tonight.
There you go. Duso shot on goal, save there. Speaking of him, it's Liam Scott.
Yeah, Liam Scott, I mean, I guess we can touch on him a little bit more. Wasn't really expecting much. I mean, especially you mentioned the 3.65 goals against average, but he's come out and been really, really impressive. And I think for sure we're impressed with him. I think looking at the Nebraska bench, they're very impressed as well.
Most of this Nebraska team, including Liam Scott, has spent time between the Division II and Division III team. So they have experience playing some better competition. But right now we're all knotted up 3 goals apiece here. Woolington, centering pass for Duso. Nelson picks up the change. What a save there by Liam Scott. Getting that glove hand out. Some glove hand larceny for the young man.
Fantastic save there. I mean, when you're talking about Tyler Nelson for the Jayhawks is in front of the net and you get a glove hand save on him, one-on-one almost, that's beautiful right there. Textbook.
Having a conversation with a ref is Liam Scott. Don't know if he didn't like something the Jayhawks did, but nothing come out of it. Probably just letting the ref know to look out for something. Maybe a little bit of goaltender interference. Don't know exactly what he's talking about. Either way, 70 seconds remaining in the second period. And, boy, what a couple periods it has been. This is Leroy with the puck now. He skates up along the near board, shimmying up, shaking off a hit from Zdakis. Zdakis is the one who goes down. Leroy with it. Centering pass. Puck in front of the net. What a save there by Olsen. Another save by Olsen. Kicking that leg pad out, making 2 incredible saves. Ben Olsen put it on a clinic. Here's the puck. Still in KU territory. Shot on there by Bonte. It's deflected in front of the net. It goes wide. Zdakis able to ring it out. And we're going to have a stoppage here. Didn't think it went in the netting. Or I think it went in the bench.
Yeah, I mean, we go from talking about Liam Scott and a great save, and then we get to watch Ben Olsen do it on the Jayhawks side. I mean, he's just some great goalie play. If you're a fan of goalies, tune in. If you have a friend who's a fan of goalies, go ahead and have them tune in because this is a great night so far.
Yeah, Liam Scott with some glove hand larceny down on the east side of the ice and on the west side of the ice. It was Ben Olsen showing off the kick pad save with that right leg of his. 25 seconds to go in the period. This is Brown with it. Brown shot on, deflected in front of the net of Olsen. Battle for it in the near board. That's Zdakis going at it, trying to poke it out. Is McRae. McRae does. McRae with the puck on the stick now. 8 seconds to go in the period. Turns it over to Duso. Duso dumps it down. Sean Rogers picks it up. 3 seconds to go. And Sean Rogers and the Huskers are more than happy to send this thing into the second intermission, all knotted up at 3 goals apiece, getting a late tying goal off of Sean Rogers' stick.
Yeah, the captain put it in. He put the team on his back, sends them into the second intermission, all tied. Something to look at. I mean, we talked about the Jayhawks defense. They've looked really good, but on the Nebraska end, they've looked really good too. I mean, it feels like you're watching them play, and it's like this watching the same team play each other. It's really good right now. It's equal. I'm interested to see what adjustments are made during this intermission that could affect the third period. And if it's anything like last night, we're in for a good one.
Daniel, you stole the words right out of my mouth. We are in for one heck of a finish, folks. We said it last night after the second period, going into the intermission. And what we got out of that, we got an overtime game between these two teams. Who only knows what will happen in the third period of this Matcha Silver West rivalry matchup between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and your Kansas Jayhawks. We enter the second intermission break, knotted up at 3 goals apiece. Keep it right here on the KU Hockey YouTube channel. back here for the start of the third period at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Jayhawks making their way out the tunnel. Cornhuskers finally make their way out of the tunnel, and we're ready in about a minute or so for some third period action. Shots right now, 32 for the Hawks, 27 for Nebraska. Daniel Schmidt, I'm alongside him. I'm Ryan Cartman. And Daniel, what a game we have to come in this third period, huh?
I mean, what a series this has been.
Mm-hmm.
Overtime winner for the Hawks last night, and now you got threes across the board, 3-3 tie in the going into the third period. It's beautiful. There's some beautiful goalie play out there. No better place to be right now, Ryan.
Opening faceoff for the third, won by the Huskers. They dump it in to the net of Olsen. He sticks it aside, and yeah, Daniel, what a series it has been. What a series it has been between these two teams in Nebraska as well. 3-2 that Friday in September, 3-1 that Saturday, and obviously last night, 4-3. Brett Siddons with the overtime winner for KU, and let's see what we have here remaining for us in the third period. And hey, you never know, potentially another overtime. Puck in the near boards now. Duso goes to play it. Centering pass looking for Woolington. Woolington tips it, hoping Nelson was there, but Tyler Nelson wasn't there. He was playing more in the middle of the ice. Hearn with it. Hearn tries to keep it in, and he does. Woolington pressuring Bonthius up the puck, but Bonthius holds strong. He gives it out to Weber. Weber, headman, looking for Beach. Look at Beach skate, trying to beat out the big man, Zach Roberts. He beats him out. Nice job there by Jackson Beach, waving off that icing. Here's Tyler Nelson with it now. Nelson and Woolington, they weave. Nelson now. Nelson centering pass, looking for Woolington. Woolington gets pushed down by Merritt. And nice job by Zach Merritt, the freshman defenseman out of Lincoln, Nebraska, making sure that Nick Woolington can't get a stick on that puck.
Yeah, that's the second. I believe it was Merritt who had the one on Siddons earlier that we talked about that Siddons wanted a penalty for too. But, you know, really good night by him on the defensive end for the Huskers.
Malcolm Johnson now on the board. So that was Feeney to Zadakis. Zadakis shot on goal. Didn't get there in time, and here come the Huskers the other way. This is Stadler with it. Stadler tried to feed it across, but it's intercepted by KU, and they dump it down. Here's Brett Siddons racing after it, going up against Holderfield. Holderfield gets to it, sends it across to Leslie on the boards. Zadakis after a turnover. Zadakis shoots it wide. Aiden Siddons goes to pick it up along the boards, trying to find his brother Brett Siddons. They can't connect, so it squirts down to neutral ice, and Breyer's going back to pick it up. Breyer over to Zadakis. Zadakis now to Siddons off his skate. Siddons, Feeney. Feeney's shot. Save there by Scott.
Yeah, great possession there. Great drive to the net there by the Jayhawks. I mean, it didn't really come up with anything, but they got a good look in on Liam Scott, who's been phenomenal tonight. I mean, he's over 90% on his save percentage, so definitely been really good in the net for the Huskers.
Rogers with it after the Huskers win the faceoff. He rings around the boards looking for McGinnis, and McGinnis ends up tipping it to McRae. McRae loses control of it, though, so the Jayhawks get it back into neutral ice. Picking it up, though, this is McGinnis now. McGinnis shot kicked aside by Olsen into the corner. Going at it is Nessa and Heiberg. Coming away with it is Heiberg. Heiberg for Brown. Brown back to Rogers. Rogers cross ice looking for McGinnis, but they can't hit. This is Heiberg now into far corner boards. The defense pairing for the Huskers goes for a change. Huskers now with it along the near boards. McRae to McGinnis. McGinnis gets stuffed there by Luke Nessa. Luke Nessa laying the body out. This is Bonthius now keeping it in along the blue line. Bonthius tries to ring it around the boards, but can't. Zadakis able to intercept it, that's Blake Hearn. Hearn will dump it in now as the Jayhawks go for a line change. Not going for a line change, though. That's Aiden Siddons. He wants to stay out there in the far corner and battle for that puck, but he loses it. Aiden Siddons will decide to go for that line change now as the Jayhawks go on the back check. This is Martison with it. Martison cross ice looking for Beach, but Beach there was tangled up with Malcolm Johnson. Puck now enters the KU offensive zone. Bonthius tries to clear it out. He can't. He just skied that puck like a fly ball. Roberts to Johnson. Johnson dumps it into the net of Scott, and Luke Lamb skates in there, forcing Scott to cover up.
Yeah, much needed break for both of these teams. Just under 4 minutes into the third period, the final period of action here, barring any overtime, of course. I've really liked the way the Huskers have come out and attacked the Jayhawks. I mean, they're hitting a nerve for sure with the Jayhawks. I'm interested to see if they can get something going on the offensive end now.
Face off to the left of Scott, won by the Huskers. As they try to clear it out, they do, going all the way down the ice. This is going to be an icing. Luke Nessa beating out Timmy Leroy.
Yeah, just in general, I know I'm really impressed with the way this Jayhawks team this year, because I know we talked about how they played Nebraska in September. This is not the same Jayhawks team that went up to Nebraska-Lincoln and lost those two. They've been really good, and they're on this little winning streak right now. I'm interested to see how they attack this third period and show us how they've changed.
KU left Lincoln in September on a 4-game losing streak after losing those 2 games to them. Now the Jayhawks are on a 4-game winning streak, trying to make it a 5-gamer. Here's the headman pass for Bullard. Bullard gets shoved off, though, by Leslie. Nice job by Matt Leslie, the junior defenseman out of Aurora, Illinois. This is Holderfield. Holderfield, headman off the boards, looking for Brickle, but it goes just too far out in front of him. So retreating to grab it is Zadakis. Zadakis wraps around Olsen's net, has Nelson. Ugly turnover there for Nessa. This is a shot there by Stadler, and Olsen will hold on to it as we're almost at the 15.5-minute mark of this final period of regulation.
Scary turnover there. You can't be having moments like that, especially here in the third period where anything can happen. But Jayhawks get a little bit of a break, then Olsen gets to cover it up and go to a face-off instead of, a potential goal.
Face-off to the left of Olsen, won by KU, and they're going to send this to Lang, trying to beat it out to Sam Austin push, but he's going to be a stride or two too late. So it's going to go right back down to the Jayhawks side of the ice for another face-off after an icing.
Yeah, still all threes. I know that we've been talking about Nebraska coming out of the intermission and how they're going to handle things, and they're keeping the pressure on the Jayhawks here.
Face-off again to the left of Olsen, won by the Jayhawks. Yet again, Jayhawks have had a slight advantage in face-off battles this series. Hassan push with it. Hassan push shot wide of net. Going in for a rebound, there was Lang, but it didn't trickle out all the way to him. Battling for it in the corners is Gavin Davis for the Jayhawks. Brown for the Huskers. Man, both these teams, we have some great board battles between these two teams. Zadakis gets it, trying to keep it in his Breyer, but he can't. He's going to end up dumping it in. Jayhawks have to touch up here on the delayed offsides. Brown, he swings and misses. Dangerous opportunity there if you're a Husker fan, but they are able to get it out into neutral ice. McGinnis races after it. He goes behind the net of Olsen. McGinnis circles around, getting pressured by Zadakis. He leaves it for Weber. Weber back to McGinnis. McGinnis, centering pass for Weber. Weber knocks down Olsen, and we're going to have a stoppage here. I don't think Olsen covered up on the puck, but no penalties called either. That net might be off its bearings.
Yeah. And then going back a little bit, Sam Housenpush had a great opportunity there. I thought he was finally going to cash in. It's been a couple games for him. He had a lot of points early, but now is kind of struggling out there. I thought that was his moment, but I think he'll get his at some point.
Faceoff comes out to the right of Ben Olsen. The sophomore netminder for the Jayhawks out of St. Paul, Minnesota, standing at 6'1", 160 pounds. A nice showing from him tonight. His counterpart, on the other hand, Liam Scott, the sophomore out of Roseville, Minnesota, standing at 6 foot 165 pounds. He's had a nice showing for himself tonight, too. Has had a couple games of great showings. Against Notre Dame, 30 saves against 32 shots on goal. And tonight, he has 33 saves against 36 shots on goal. Dangerous puck in front of the net of Olsen, but KU able to clear it out. And the corner boards now. This is Heiberg. Heiberg tries to ring it around. Can't. Roberts gets to it first as he tries to ring it around, looking for Woolington. Woolington had a backtrack there for a second as he was working to the middle of the ice. Here's Woolington now streaking in. Woolington dangles around. Woolington! Puck goes behind the net. Centering pass for Duso. They can't connect. Here comes Nebraska the other way. 2-on-2. It's Timmy Leroy carrying it in. Leaves it. 4-man. That's Brickle. Brickle, though, gets pushed off the puck by the Jayhawks. And here comes KU the other way. They're 2-on-1 if they hurry. Here's Tyler Nelson. Nelson enters the zone. Nelson, shot, save there by Scott, and it's a goal for the Jayhawks.
How did that sneak in?
I don't know how that got in. I was trying to make my save call by Liam Scott. What a save there originally, but somehow that puck goes in. It's Nick Woolington with his second goal of the night, his third goal of the weekend series.
Nick Woolington, man, I mean, he's come out on fire this weekend, and we've got to see him this year. You know, he's a freshman, of course. We've got to see him and how he plays the game. He plays the game real well. He's definitely something that the Jayhawks are going to like.
Yeah, somehow Nick Woolington just spun around, got that to go, high glove side of Scott, and now the Jayhawks take a 4-3 lead with over 13 minutes to go in the third period. Still lots of time for the Huskers to get a goal on the board to tie it up, or for the Jayhawks to get some insurance. Headman pass for Gavin Davis. Icing going to be waved off here. He wins the race against Leslie. In the corner now. This is a Jayhawk there. That was Aiden Siddons, but he lost an edge, so he goes down. Nebraska gets control, and they enter the zone. But they enter the zone offside, so we're going to have a stoppage here. Face-offs coming out in the neutral ice.
Yeah, look back on that replay there. Woolington just got it up over his shoulder, and, I mean, Scott looked behind him like, how did that get through? So he was as confused as us on how it got into the net. But at the end of the day, it's a Jayhawk goal. We'll take it. So
Nick Woolington getting a goal. It is his 9th of the season, his 16th point on the year, giving the Jayhawks a 4-3 lead with 12.5 to go in the final period of regulation. Here's a puck in front of the net of Olsen with it on the stick. That was Martison, but he turns it over back to the Jayhawks. Here's Brett Siddons with this, the second line going to work for the Jayhawks. Entering offsides, though, was Aiden Siddons, so we're going to have a stoppage on the ice here.
Yeah, physical series all around, and I mean today especially has been real physical out there. And you know, Aiden Siddons has been at the forefront of that. You know, especially I don't know if the camera caught it, a little bit of John going between him and one of the Nebraska players. So it's been a good weekend out there if you're a fan of all that.
Shots on goal right now, 38 for the Jayhawks, 32 for the Huskers. Jayhawks taking advantage of their shots on goal, though. They have a 4-3 lead in the final period of regulation of this game, as Nebraska now is offsides. Back-to-back-to-back offsides against these teams as this game comes to a little bit of an unexpected halt.
Yeah, it's an offsides festival out here. 12:09 to go. I'm interested now that KU's got the lead, what the message is down there, what they're going to do. I mean, I assume that the message is keep their foot on the pedal, but
puck behind, after Jayhawks won the faceoff, puck went behind the net of Olsen. Now it's the Jayhawks coming the other way. Third line out for KU, gloving that down out of midair. That was Martison as he tries to send it the other way. Here come the Huskers. It's Jackson Beach. He has Merritt with him. Beach looking for Merritt, center of the ice, no good. Merritt runs over Olsen. Ref had the whistle in his mouth, but not calling anything there. Olsen, though, without a goalie stick, so he's a little bit tight right now when it comes to his stick. Puck squirts out, so Olsen able to go behind his net, retrieve his stick. Fisher with it in the near corner boards. Battling for it with Bonthius. Bonthius throws Bullard to the ground, or Fisher to the ground, excuse me. KU bench looking for a call. They're not going to get it. And it's going to be an icing here against the Huskers. And, yeah, Jayhawk fans not too happy here. Good attendance for this game today. Good attendance for that one last night, too. But, yeah, Jayhawk fans not too happy that Bonthius got away with what could be considered maybe an interference call or a rough.
Yeah, he got him there, and he threw him down. But I think that Fisher had him a little bit, and that when both players have each other like that, you're not going to get the call.
Face-off left of Scott, won by the Huskers. Beach looking to pass it up to McGinnis. McGinnis, though, gets cornered by Hearn, so it's going to go behind the net of Olsen. Picking it up is Zach Roberts. Roberts looking for his defensive partner, and Hearn goes off his stick. Trying to pick it up for the Huskers. That was Heiberg, but he couldn't, so the Jayhawks get control of it, but they give it right back to Nebraska. Leslie with it. Leslie cross ice. Couldn't find anything as his puck's now played along the near boards. Heiberg with it. Leslie thought he might try to keep it in. He didn't, so he's going to dump it in to KU zone. Jayhawks now dump it out in the neutral ice. Woolington played with the high stick, so he's going to have to wait for Matt Leslie to touch that puck. He does. So now Jayhawks free to touch it. McRae with it in neutral ice. He gets it poked off his stick, so he's going to retreat with the puck. McRae finds Heiberg. Heiberg going up against Johnson, moves past Johnson. Heiberg shot wide of the net. Olsen just stuck his glove out there trying to catch it, but he let it go. Well, we reached the halfway mark of this final period of regulation. Alongside Daniel Schmidt, I'm Ryan Cartman. We're at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Matthew Lang goes in. Matthew Lang, he scores! Matthew Lang giving the Jayhawks a cushion. Matthew Lang getting his first goal of his KU career.
Yeah, the Hawks came just racing in into the Nebraska zone and just put it in the back of the net. That was I'm kind of surprised that went in, but you know, with how good we've been talking about Liam Scott, with how good he is, I didn't think he'd let that one in, but you know, Lang hits a little 1-2 and puts it in the back of the net.
So Matthew Lang with the first goal of his KU hockey career, the second point of his career, gives the Jayhawks a 2-goal advantage. The fourth line going to work for KU. Sam Hassenpush with it. Hassenpush shot off the skate of Brickle. So it's the Huskers looking to go the other way here. Down 2 goals now they find themselves. Puck in the near corner. That's Gavin Davis trying to play it for the Hawks, but he turns it over and Brickle clears it out. Zach Sudeikis there to pick up the puck. He gives it to Brett Siddons to neutralize. Siddons will ring it around the boards here, looking for Hassenpush. Hassenpush, though, can't get to it in time. Brown gets to it first. Clearing it out now. That's Weber. Weber found it Stadler. Stadler looking for Leroy, but Leroy couldn't keep control of it. Weber with it. He'll now dump it in behind the net of Ben Olsen into the boards. Sudeikis now getting pressured by Beach. Jackson Beach, one of the best two-way players you'll find in Division III hockey, and he's only a freshman. We're going to see him for the next few years here wearing the big red. Puck along the blue line now, waiting to enter is the Huskers. They finally do. It's Beach entering. Centering pass. Shot. Saved by Olsen. Trying to clear it out to the Jayhawks. They do. Gloving it down is Merritt. So the puck bounces around in neutral ice, but it's controlled by the Huskers. This is Weber now. Weber centering Merritt. Merritt shot. Kicked aside by Ben Olsen. Here's a headman pass now. Trying to cherry pick there was Brett Siddons, but gloving it down is Bonthius. Nice job by him. If Bonthius didn't get that puck, it was going to be a breakaway for Siddons. Speaking of Brett Siddons, there he is playing both sides of the ice as he clears it out into the neutral zone as he goes for a change. Beach now swings it. Now this is McGinnis. McGinnis turns it over in neutral ice, and it's KU looking to go the other way. Now nobody wants control of the puck. We'll see who finally wants it. Still nobody wants it, and finally the Jayhawks pick it up. It's Travis Breyer. Breyer passed along the boards looking for Siddons. Aiden Siddons, don't know if he saw that one or not. Come in time. Behind the net now, this is Zach Roberts. Zach Roberts rings it around for John Feeney. Here's the Huskers now. Centering pass looking for McGinnis. No good for Nebraska. Getting pressured there. Off the puck was McGinnis. Puck played for now along the near boards. This is Holderfield. Holderfield shot. Glove there by Ben Olsen. 7:11 to go into third.
I'll tell you what, that Kansas defense has been a wall, and Ben Olsen's also been a wall. I mean, he's been a stone wall back there, nothing getting past him so far this period. He's been fantastic. And I've been really impressed tonight. I know you probably feel the same way with that fourth line for the Jayhawks. I mean, they have the goal now. They've been out there. They've been, skating real quick. I mean, they're working real hard.
That fourth line not doing too much last night for the Jayhawks. And now tonight, they're doing something. Again, the only change in the Jayhawks lineup for today came on that fourth line. Blake Bowerly, the center on that fourth line last night, not playing today. It's Matthew Lang taking over centerman duties for the Jayhawks. Lang with the goal, the freshman, 6 foot out of Champlin, Minnesota. And he's showing the coaches, hey, give me some more playing time maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many freshmen on this team that are just, they're really good. And, as KU, is working their way in on this winning streak, they've been all a big part of it.
This is Brown with it. Brown's shot got through. Couldn't get through Ben Olsen, though, the brick wall, and we'll stop it here. Olsen able to cover up the puck right behind his wickets.
Yeah, this is a young Jayhawks team. I know we mentioned at the last stoppage about the freshmen. I mean, you've got from Aiden Siddons to Luke Lamb, Matthew Lane, who's got the goal tonight, Jackson Fisher, Nick Willington, who's got 3 this weekend. I mean, just some great young talent for the Jayhawks.
Face off to the right of Olsen, won by KU. Here come the Jayhawks streaking down the ice. This is Luke Lamb with it. Luke Lamb, shot on goal, covering his post with the blocker save. That was Scott. This is Leroy now. Leroy shot up off a stick and over the netting. That's going to land almost into stands area. I haven't seen one go over the net so far here at Blue Hawk, and we have our first one ever.
Yeah, it's with a new facility, it's a lot of firsts, and there's our
There you
first
go.
for that. So someone clip that, and there you go. There's the first for KU hockey here.
And that net would have had to have been raised at least a couple feet higher. No way that net was going to control that puck or keep that puck in. Beach with it after the Huskers win the faceoff. Shot on there, way over the crossbar of Ben Olsen. Here come the Jayhawks the other way, trying to go the other way they do, but they can't keep it on the stick. So going to pick it up now, this is Merritt. Bontius trying for a headman to Martison, but they can't connect. So going on the check to get it is Malcolm Johnson. Headman for Brett Siddons, didn't touch his stick, and it's going to be an icing. Brett Siddons arguing it went off his knee, but it's hard to hear the knee if you're a linesman, and it's hard to see that one too. So, or that was Tyler Nelson, excuse me. Nelson thought it went off his knee, and he's shaking his head, thinking that shouldn't have been an icing.
Yeah, Ben Olsen, we're talking 37 for 40 last night. Fantastic. You know, he's 35 for 38 tonight so far, so he's been, putting up another stellar performance in net for the Jayhawks, and with just under 6 minutes to go, we can see if he can keep that up.
Icing waved off here as Duso and Bontius go out at the 2-11s. Bontius still pinning Duso there, holding on to him a little bit. Ref taking a look, and he's not going to call anything there. I think if Bontius held on for a second longer, that might have been called for an interference or a hold. Puck behind the net of Scott now, played by Bontius. He swings it over to his defensive pairing in Merritt. Now it's Martison entering. Merritt, the defenseman, enters behind the net of Olsen. This is Martison now. Martison behind the net, getting pressured there by Breyer. Beach now with it. Beach tries to work it along the boards. This puck squirts out in the middle of the ice, and it's the Jayhawks looking the other way. It's the fourth line again. Hassan pushed though. Can't get it past Matt Leslie. Nice job there by Leslie, the junior out of Aurora, Illinois. In the corner now. This is Lang going for it, but trying to get to it first is McGinnis. Winning that battle is McGinnis into Huskers. Beach with it along the boards. He tried to find McGinnis. McGinnis couldn't get a stick on it. So it's going to be Breyer and McGinnis racing down. They're pushing each other there. Man, we've had some great battles along the boards this evening, I should say. Shot on there off the leg pad of Olsen up into the net. We'll have a stoppage here, under 4.5 to go in this final period of regulation.
Yeah, just thinking of some things to describe this game as. I mean, I've got a couple words in mind, a couple adjectives. I mean, gritty, physical, of course, but impressive would definitely be one of them. I mean, both teams, even though KU's up 2, I think Nebraska's also been really impressive out there on the ice.
Puck played along the near boards by McGinnis. He rings it around, but Roberts gets to it first for the Jayhawks. Roberts to Feeney now. Feeney, Brett Siddons. Headman looking for his brother Aiden Siddons. He gets behind him. It's a breakaway. Aiden Siddons dangles, tries to go 5-hole. Save there by Scott. What a save there by Liam Scott, the young man.
Yeah, a little opportunity there for the young Siddons, but Liam Scott read it really well. I mean, he wasn't faked by the dangle at all, and just jumped in front of it, gave Aiden Siddons no opportunity to put it in the net.
No, Scott did not bite at all, and Siddons tried to give him the bite. Scott's given up couple 5-hole goals this week in series. He tried to go 5-hole there today to Siddons, but he gives him a goal there. Glove hand side. John Feeney with the snipe, doubling up the Cornhuskers 6-3.
Yeah, John Feeney looking down the scope and going right in the corner. Beautiful shot right there by John Feeney. Fantastic. Definitely a morale booster for the Jayhawks here as they extend their lead to 3.
John Feeney, his second goal of the night. Nick Willington has 2. Both those guys, guess what they have in common? Not just the 2 goals. They each had a goal last night. So give them 3 goals this week in series. 3 goals from Willington, 3 goals for Feeney, and the Jayhawks right now are sniffing a rock chalk victory. Still some time to do it, though, and Nebraska answers right back. Man, the announcer's jinx really hit on that one, Daniel.
My apologies. Yeah, just kicked around in front of the Kansas net. Easy goal for Nebraska. They put it in the back of the net.
That was Jake Stadler getting the goal. His 9th goal of the season, a freshman out of Silver Bay, Minnesota. His 2nd goal this season against the Jayhawks. Had one in Lincoln against these Jayhawks. Now it's only a 2-goal game, and still plenty of time for the Huskers to come back from this with 3:50 to go. But they got to get a goal here, Daniel, within the next couple minutes.
For sure.
Here's KU entering. They're 2-on-1. Fisher shot. He scores and gets pushed down. And here we go. We're going to get a penalty called here against Nate Weber. And we got a little brouhaha going right here. It was, George Bullard with the goal. So George Bullard gets it a 3-goal game yet again. 3 goals by these teams in the last minute. Oh, my goodness. Where did all this scoring come from?
Yeah, Bullard, fantastic shot there. I mean, kind of, redeemed the goal that had just been let in on the other side, and then skating around, and he catches one from Weber. The way Weber reacted, I don't think he meant to push him over, but, the Jayhawks still took offense to it as the captains go out to talk with our Zebras here.
Yeah, Sean Rogers and Caleb Dusso get an explanation. Luke Lamb's going to sit as well. So we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey here. It is Ben McGinnis going to sit for 2 minutes. And it is my correction. Nate Weber going to sit for 2 minutes, and Luke Lamb going to sit for 2 minutes. We're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey as our referee explains to our scorekeeper exactly what's going on. I'm imagining this is just going to be matching roughing penalties, but they might give a double minor, though. I'm not saying they will. They might. No, they won't. I thought they were going to explain that they wanted to give Weber a double minor, but they won't. So as we get all that sorted out, end of the day, Jayhawks take a 3-goal lead yet again after giving it up not even a minute ago, courtesy of a George Bullard goal. Bullard, his first goal of the weekend.
Yeah, this game's turned on an instant. Went from 3-3 going into the period to 7-4. I mean, just crazy.
Shot on there by Leslie, blocked in front of the net by Zidakis, as both these teams are trying to get physical now. Again, these two rivals, they don't like each other too much. Nick Woolington enters the zone. Woolington with Nelson. Woolington trying to go 5-hole, can't. And the Huskers are just going to opt to keep that puck frozen. The defenseman there for Nebraska, I think that was Jackson Beach. It was. He was pushing that puck in to make sure that puck didn't squirt out for any rebound opportunity.
Yeah, we haven't been able to say this much this period. That's some great defense by Nebraska there. I mean, Woolington went looking for Nelson, but the defense played by the Huskers made sure Nelson wasn't an option for Woolington.
So a 4-goal scoring outburst by both these teams combined in this third period. And might not be the close finish as we had the past 3 times these teams played each other. But either way, lots of goals scored in this one. But, hey, who knows? With knowing this Cornhusker team, you can't count them out just yet. Still 2.5 minutes to go in this game. But, man, if they've managed to send this thing to overtime, we could consider that a miracle, I think, for Nebraska. Here's the puck in Nebraska's zone. This is Merritt. Merritt with it behind the net. Trying to give it off to Heiberg, but Woolington gets to it first. Woolington for Tyler Nelson. Nelson, though, can't get control of the puck. McRae picks it up. McRae now for Merritt. To Beach now. Jackson Beach with it. He leaves it for Merritt. Merritt shot on off the post. It is Bonthius now with it. Bonthius to Merritt. Having to touch up were the Huskers, and offsides by plenty was Timmy Leroy.
Yeah, I think we need a counter on how many times we've called out Bonthius and Beach tonight. Both of them have been all over the ice. They've been involved in almost every play, especially on the penalty kill and the power play for the Huskers.
1:56 to go here in the third period. Jayhawks scoring 4 goals in this period. Huskers scoring 1. So 5 goals scored this period, Was not 4. It is 5 goals scored this period. Jackson Beach now looking for Timmy Leroy. Timmy Leroy now. Leroy shot off a stick and up into the glass, or they're going to say it was up into the netting, actually. I thought that hit the glass, but hit the netting. Both penalties expire. The one to Luke Lamb and the other one to Nate Weber. So we're going to have some 5-on-5 hockey for the last minute 38, barring any additional penalties. Shots on goal, 44 for KU, 41 for Nebraska. Face-off to the right of Olsen. Won by Jackson Beach. Beach now with the puck. Beach, centering pass. Actually went off the leg pad of Olsen, so the Jayhawks are now looking to go the other way. They dump it in. It's Brett Siddons. Brett Siddons with the puck. Centering. Shot on there by Feeney. Went wide. Feeney looking for a hat trick right now. Nate Weber with the puck behind the net. Nick Bonthius now carries. Bonthius, headman. He has Jackson Beach. Beach will have to circle around. Cross-ice pass. Shot on there. No good. That was Timmy Leroy. Saved, though, by Ben Olsen. A minute remaining in the third period. Puck cleared out into neutral ice and gloved down by Nick Bonthius. Well, oh boy, the Jayhawks. They could sniff a 5-game winning streak coming their way. Nick Bonthius with it. Weber will dump it in. Jayhawks sit at 9-10 right now. They can get to 10-10, 500 for the first time this season. Here's Aiden Sinners on the headman pass. He has a breakaway. Aiden Sinners shoots. Save there by Scott. And we're going to have some extracurriculars after this as Aiden Sinners went hard crashing into the boards.
Yeah, Siddons caught it real hard, and then looks like Brett Siddons also coming in there, defending his brother, but 30 seconds to go with a 3-goal lead. I think it's about to, I think you can say this is coming up on the end here for Nebraska.
And we're going to have some penalties given out here. Brett Siddons is going to leave this game. He gives a bench of Nebraska a little tap with his stick, and he's pumping up the crowd. Look at Brett Siddons pumping up the crowd as he leaves, knowing he gave his team a 5-game winning streak. We'll see if anything's gone up on the board here. Nobody's going to sit, so it must have just been a 10-minute game misconduct going against Brett Siddons. So Brett Siddons will go into the locker room, and he'll be able to get an early shower, an early celebration for this Jayhawks 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the speaker ready, get the speaker pumping for the post-game celebration. Just about 30 seconds early, as the officials come over to talk with both teams.
And we're going to send this face-off down to the KU zone as Brett Siddons went off for a misconduct. So they're going to send us to the left of the net of Ben Olsen.
Yeah, I think the Jayhawks took exception to the hard hit late on Aiden Siddons. You know, with 30 seconds left and a 3-goal lead, you know, they weren't too happy with that.
Face off to the left of Olsen. We're still getting, okay, now our referees are going to the scores table. So going to see what we're going with here. It's going to be
the Jeopardy music.
There you go.
Let's talk goalies, I guess, since we're here. They got the penalty up, but both goalies have been phenomenal tonight if you're just joining us.
Okay, so it's just a 2-minute minor penalty going against Brett Siddons. Don't know what the call was. They never gave one here, though, on a breakaway. This is Tyler Nelson. Nelson has Duso with him. He drops it to Duso. Duso shoots up and above the crossbar. Caleb Duso looking for a goal himself. Had one in the earlier series against Nebraska. And we have 7 seconds to go in this game. And the Jayhawks, they can take a 5-game winning streak into the winter break. Rock chalk Jayhawk victory goes KU. And before we get to celebrations, see if anything comes of this brouhaha. Here we go. Malcolm Johnson tripping up Nick Bonthius there. And Johnson pushes Bonthius. We have a little old-fashioned hockey going here, a little 90s hockey. There's another push in the back. Bonthius pushes a man in the back. Nebraska skaters, though, staying on their bench. And here we go right here along the boards. Look at this, a wrestling match along the boards. Oh, my goodness. The antics pouring out after this game as Blake Hearn waves by to the Huskers. Nate Weber standing at the red line, giving his final parting words to this KU team. These two teams won't see each other for the rest of the regular season at least. Malcolm Johnson shooing the Huskers off. And Jayhawks, they get to go home happy. These teams won't shake hands, of course, because of all this action going on. Jayhawks wave bye to the Huskers. A couple handshakes going around. Travis Breyer going to shake hands with some Huskers. And overall, finally, Daniel, I'll get to you after all that happened after the end of the game. What are our thoughts right now, Daniel? What are your thoughts?
Ryan, do these teams not like each other or something?
Good old Matcha Silver West rivalry doesn't get better than this.
I don't know if they don't like each other or something. A little bit of some extracurriculars there. But great win for the Jayhawks. Pushes it to 5 games. You know where they are, Ryan? I don't know if you know where they are.
Where are they?
That's 10-10, and that's 500 ball.
That's
right
500, the first
Jayhawks
time this season.
Yeah, first time this season. They've crawled their way back to 500, 5th place in Silver West, of course. So great for the Jayhawks. Caleb Dussault gives the crowd a little, put his hands up, tried to get them going there. But great weekend for the Jayhawks. You can't ask for anything more for them than what just happened.
So it is Nick Woolington with 2 goals for the Hawks. John Feeney with 2 goals. Aiden Siddons with the goal. George Buller with the goal. Matthew Lang with the goal. Daniel, you know what? Every line had a goal scorer tonight for the Jayhawks. How about that?
I think they call that spreading the love, and that's what the Jayhawks did tonight. And they did that all weekend, spreading the love with 2 wins and a bunch of goals and some good stats out there.
Yeah, Nick Woolington, again, Woolington and Feeney, they each got 2 goals tonight. They finished with 3 goals apiece in this weekend series. The freshman Woolington, the junior Feeney, getting it done tonight for the Hawks.
Yeah, Woolington, the Gardner kid. I don't know. I think if you look at the stats, you can see that Woolington likes playing here in Overland Park. He's got some has some great games, and his stat line here at Blue Hawk's been phenomenal so far. So I think he likes it here close to home.
Now let's turn it over now to the KU schedule. KU will go on the winter break, and then they will come home again after that winter break to face Drury. Trying to find Drury in our standings right now, trying to see where they are exactly. We did not plan for this, but hey, why not? Let's find them. Anyway, what else do you want to say about KU while I look for these stats really quick, Daniel?
This is a great weekend for Ben Olsen. I mean, I know we've talked about it about 8 million times, but Ben Olsen was phenomenal this weekend. I mean, you know, he was 39 for 43 tonight on saves, and you know, last night he was 37 for 40, so he really had a great weekend. And I know that the Jayhawks coaching staff is really happy to see him succeeding out there, the sophomore from St. Paul, succeeding out there on the ice.
Yep, so we go over now to look at Drury, and Drury, the best team in Matcha Bronze, they're at 7-6-1 on the season, 15 points for them. And it's not going to count for anything towards ACHA standings, unfortunately, for the Jayhawks. So won't be able to get any points there, but still they won't. They could still get some points, move up in the standings in Silver West. When we look at the standings in Silver West right now, Jayhawks retake the lead in 5th place for the Silver West. To go to Matcha playoffs, you got to be a top 4 team. The Jayhawks doing all they can. They don't got to win out to get into the Matcha finals, but they do got to get into that top 4. Sitting above them is Dort, Missouri State, Dallas Baptist, and Nebraska Omaha.
Yeah, Dort's pretty good this year. I mean, 14-0-1. They're just fantastic. You know, they've got 30 points. But the Jayhawks, they're fighting their way. I think that they have the opportunity to push themselves into a playoff spot, and this roster has the talent to do it. They have the coaching to do it. I'm really looking forward to see what, coming out of winter break, what they can do.
And, boy, a 5-game winning streak. Then these Jayhawks down from the dumps, down from the barrel, from the bottom of the barrel of the Silver West, all the way shooting up now, looking in prime position to at least give themselves a shot for a Matcha playoff berth. We look ahead in Nebraska. They have Creighton after the winter break. Both these teams going on the winter break. Hasn't been a great year for Creighton. They sit going into this weekend at 11 points. In Nebraska, this will be a big opportunity for them to pick up some points and try to keep themselves in this Matcha playoff race.
Yeah, it's standings watch season, of course. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Nebraska plays. I mean, you're looking at UNO and how they're going to be playing. Dallas Baptist, Mo State, Dort, of course. But, you know, it's just got to keep an eye on what they're doing. I think, you know, Creighton's a lot better of a team than their standings say. So I don't think it's going to be a shoo-in for Nebraska. But, you know, Drury's really good for KU, so it's going to be interesting to see coming out of winter break, coming out of that extended, period where they're not, together and, they're all home for Christmas and all that, how they're going to keep up, especially with the Jayhawks being on this 5-game win streak.
So, folks, it is a 5-game winning streak for the Jayhawks. Coming up from the bottom of the barrel in Matcha Silver West, shooting up all of a sudden to 5th place in the Matcha Silver West, 1 spot away from clinching a Matcha playoff berth. Well, folks, we'll join you again January 31st. Drury comes into town to take on your Kansas Jayhawks. Folks, we will see you in 2025 as Jayhawks. Hold on. It's a 5-game winning streak for KU. They take this one 7-4. So long for now from Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. For everybody here at KU Hockey, alongside me, Daniel Schmidt, I'm Ryan Cartman. Good night